Welcome back to In the Ring with Termite and Mister S. You know, normally we do a little bit of talking before we get started, Mr. S.
We do.
But I tell you what, we're not going to do that tonight. Tell them why.
Tonight's a special night. We have a very special guest that we're excited. If you're joining us and you didn't happen to see who the guest is, we might as well just jump in. So we're gonna forego our typical chit chat and just jump right into inviting who are we bringing on.
We are, and but are we going to have our ding ding with
You
our?
know what? Thanks for reminding me, Termite.
Yeah,
I'm so excited,
yeah.
I forgot.
Man, you got him bumfuzzled.
Cue the introduction.
Hold it now. Don't ding the dinger, because if you ding the dinger, I want to come out with both my fists swinging and kick it. So
There
don't
we
ding
go.
the dinger.
So cue the intro.
Cue the intro, and we'll bring him on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special main event on In the Ring with Termite and Mister S. Tonight, we honor a very special living legend, a man whose name is etched into the foundation of martial arts history, a 10th degree black belt, an undefeated world champion with a perfect 23-0 record, a pioneer of full contact karate, and the speed behind one of the most feared left legs in the sport. He's shared the screen with Chuck Norris, trained with Elvis Presley, and brought martial arts to millions around the world, not just with power, but with wisdom, humility, and grace. His impact spans decades. His legacy inspires generations. It is our deepest honor to welcome in the ring tonight, Bill Superfoot Wallace.
Yeah.
There he is. Bill
right.
Superfoot Wallace, the legend himself.
Hey, it's fun kicking people, okay? I enjoy kicking.
You enjoy it, right?
I know it made me a lot of money and it kept me off the streets and kept my face in one place.
There you go. Maybe not so many other faces in one place from the sound of it.
Hey, my pleasure. Hey, I do say I'm sorry. I don't mean it, but I say it.
Well, welcome on the show, Bill. It's an honor to
Thank
have
for
you.
having me.
So Bill, I'm thrilled tonight. We'll catch everybody up, but I got to work with you several years back and got to know you personally. And man, I'm just excited to be here with you on the same stage as you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I had an absolute blast. It was Zolfi. I mean, it had to be 5 or 6 years ago, didn't it? Something like 6, even more, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was eight years ago. I'm a bragging a little bit. You know, you were teaching the people how to kick, and you and Zulfi allowed me to teach the people how to hit. And so me and you were kind of the spotlight of the show. In reality, you were the spotlight, and I've never forgot that. You may be the most humble athlete I've ever seen.
Oh, well, it's thank you for saying that, but I mean, it's like you. We go out and put our life on the line. We actually do. When we go into the ring, there's always that chance that we could die.
That's right.
If the guy hits it to the right place at the right time. And, and what I do with the kicking aspect of it, maybe I run into a knee, maybe I run into an elbow.
Yeah.
And your brain doesn't take that much punishment to do a lot of damage. So, we both got lucky because we still have our nose in the same place. No scar tissue, and we don't go when we talk.
You don't have the cauliflower ears either. You managed to get around that one.
That's a
Bill, I'm a little jealous because your nose doesn't look like mine. Mine's a little wider than yours.
If you think about it, you face this way, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't because I got a really, really bad knee. My right knee's really bad, so I face this way. So when I'm sideways to you, you punch, my head just turns out of the way.
Wow.
It's very strategic.
I try not to be in the way too much.
Well, we want to take our viewers through a journey, and obviously people know who you are. And I kind of want to start back up. Where did you grow up? What got you, interested in martial arts, and why?
Well, I was born and raised in Indiana, and
you had to learn how to fight there.
Just about. Yeah. My father was a school teacher and a professional golfer. He also coached football, coached high school basketball, and coached the baseball team.
Wow.
in
Active
Portland,
dad.
Indiana. Yeah, I know. So there's my athletic ability right there. Then we moved to Lafayette, Indiana, which was about 4 times the size of Portland, Indiana, where I was born. And I really didn't like Lafayette that much. It was okay, but it was too big for me. So, and I started wrestling in 1957. You guys weren't born yet. But,
I was. I beg your pardon. I was.
I was not, but
oh, thanks a lot. Jeez. Well, okay, you were barely born yet. How's that?
I
But
was
anyway,
1 year old. Now, Mr. S wasn't even a thought.
No,
Fine.
he was not even a twinkle in his dad's eye.
No.
But
that's okay.
here's the crazy thing about it is, in Indiana, basketball is the major sport.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody played basketball except me. I was a good shot from the outside, but I was so small. My freshman year in high school, I weighed 89 pounds.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, if I turned sideways and stuck out my tongue, I looked like a zipper. But anyway, so my basketball career was going to be done. My football career, I played, you're not going to believe this, but I played freshman football my freshman year in high school
At 88 pounds.
at 89 pounds. Now, here's the crazy thing is, they needed a long snapper. You know what a long snapper is?
Yes, sir.
He centered the ball back to the punter or to the field goal guy, right? Well, I was the only one stupid enough to keep my head down. You know, back then there was no 3-second rule or anything like that. You just snapped it back. As soon as you snapped the ball back, the middle linebacker could kill you. And I woke up several times going, where did he come from? But anyway, but I never lost a snap. I never lost a snap. I know
Wow.
the whole year that I did, I never lost a snap. But football season's over, and I know I'm not going to play basketball because I'm too little, especially in Indiana. So I'm walking down the hall of my high school, and I see these guys roll around on a mat in this big old smelly room. And I walk in there and says, what's this stuff called? He says, this is a wrestling room. What's wrestling? You know, 1957, it's not all over the
Not
television.
popular.
Not at all. And so so they tell me about it, and I said, wow, do they have anybody my size? And they have weights all the way from 95 pounds up to heavyweight. Well, so I wrestled, and I was, my freshman year, I started wrestling. I was a 95 pounder. Now, if you realize what you have to do to make weight, spitting and peeing and starving yourself, right?
Yep.
Well, and it's a winter sport. We started in October and start wrestling in November, right? So I would weigh in with my coat on, my entire set of clothes on, and still not weigh 95 pounds.
Wow.
And it made the other guy, the guy I've got to wrestle, the 95 pounder, he's over the corner spitting and peeing and trying to make weight. And I'm going, do. So, but then I put on a lot of weight my second year. I wrestled 112.
Hey, that's a big jump from 1 year.
Oh, yeah. Then my junior year, I weighed all of 120.
Going
And
up?
then and that, now understand it, I was a wimp. In high school, I was a wimp. I didn't want to fight. I never wanted to fight. I thought you're going to die if you got punched in the mouth.
That is
I
so
watched
wild
these
to hear
movies
coming
get
from
punched.
you.
Yeah. Scary. But so, and I could beat the 133 pounder. His name was Bob Fisher. Great guy. I could beat him wrestling, but he was a bully to me anyway. And, you know, we'd wrestle and he'd rough me up and all this stuff. Even if I could beat him wrestling. So I said, you know what, Bob, let's do this. You wrestle 133 and I'll go up to 138. Okay, so he wrestled 133, and I wrestled 138. And the great thing about it is, and we had a 20-year class reunion in 1983. And I already done the movies. I'd already world champion, retired, and all that stuff. We're at the reunion, and Bob comes up to me and says, hi, Bill, how you doing? He gives me a big hug. And so bad, I want to walk up to him and says, Bob, let's go outside. Let's talk this over. But I did. I was a nice guy.
I think your accolades spoke for themselves.
You are a nice guy until you get in the ring. You know, how many wins?
23. I never lost.
Never lost. Now, you're one of the... Has anybody ever done that?
Nope.
Okay, so you're the only one that's ever done that. Now, is that in kickboxing?
Yeah, kickboxing.
Okay.
See, point tournaments, if you've ever seen a point tournament, everybody loses in point tournaments.
Yeah.
If I'm fighting Chuck Norris, there's no way that I'm going to win against Chuck Norris because he knows too many people and too many people know him. So there's no way I'm going to win because it's all arbitrary.
The subjective
What you
side.
think is a point is a point. It's just like in boxing. You have 3 officials, right? You have 2 corner
Right.
judges and the head referee, right? Well, if you like speed, you're going to like me. But if you like one of the guys I'm fighting, he's a power guy. So maybe somebody else likes the power guy. So now it's all up to the referee who wins, and he's the one closest. So he's the one who gets the pick.
Very
I try
subjective.
not to leave it that close. Tried not to.
Yeah.
I was reading. I saw somewhere where you did have a battle out with Chuck Norris. And how long did y'all go?
Son of a gun, he killed me. I tell you what, my neck still gets stiff in the cold weather.
But y'all duked it out for a good while.
Well, what happened is he was doing a seminar, doing a testing up in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and I was teaching. I was working with Elvis, teaching for him in Memphis, Tennessee, back in 1978. And he came to the school, walks up the stairs, and I went, "What are you doing here?" And because we'd been friends before, and he says, "Well, just thought I'd come by and see how you're doing." And I said, "Great." So I taught class and we talked a little bit. And then he says, "Could we spar?" And I went, "What?" Now, understand, this is 1978. I'm at the top of my game. And I said, "Sure, I'd love to spar with you." So he kicked everybody out. It was just he and I. Just he and I.
Oh.
So we for about an hour and a half, pardon my expression, beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
For an hour and a
Had
half.
an absolute blast. Nobody will ever know who won. I'm not going to tell anybody, and Chuck's not going to tell anybody.
No audience.
Because we had an absolute blast.
Well, you both won.
Yep, we did. And right after they asked me to do the movie with him, A Force of One.
That's
That's
incredible.
awesome.
Did that start your movie career?
Yep, that's it. I died good.
You made that joke before, so you're always they're kind of putting you as the bad guy. How does that happen?
I don't mind it. I mean, there's a lot of guys, martial artists like, Joe Lewis and Chuck and some and Don Wilson. They don't want to be the bad guy. Hey, if you look at films, every really, really good film has a really great bad guy in it.
They do.
Yeah.
That's what makes the movie. That's what makes the movie.
Yeah, that's what makes the movie. And I don't mind being the bad guy. I mean, I did 16 films, died in 15 of them. The other one I did Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck, and I didn't die in that one because I was a good guy. But
How did that feel? That feel
I-
like something was wrong?
Oh yeah, well, what's wrong? Should I die? Do I die now? but I died 16 times or 15 times, excuse me, and a different way every time. I got my neck broken. I got ran over by a train. Got impaled by a tree. Got shot. Got electrocuted. Jackie Chan. I got electrocuted fighting Jackie Chan.
What kind of guy is he?
He's a really nice person, really, really good person, and does all 99% of the stunts he does himself. Well, not now, but the fight scenes, when we had the fight scenes with the movie The Protector, we banged and beat each other up like you would not believe.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you almost have to, because the Mrs. Show, because we're moving around. It's not like a knockdown drag or just punching thing, because we did it from different angles, the kicking aspects, the jump spins and things like this. So we had to make it look really close, and it was a 4-camera shoot. So there's four cameras taking the pictures. So so if one shows a miss, maybe this other camera doesn't show the miss.
Wow.
You're an entertainer, so it's a martial arts, the pure sport, but then you add the entertainment aspect, and it sounds like you knew how to switch those on and off, do the entertainment side, then to do the disciplined martial arts.
If Termite will tell you this also. Once you get paid, if you're an athlete And once you get paid, this the president of CBS Sports told me this. Once you get paid, you become an entertainer.
That's right.
You're
That's
not
right.
that athlete anymore. Now you're an entertainer. You gotta make it show. You know, I mean, you might be able to take the guy out in the first round, but now you have to make entertainment. So you need those minutes on the camera. You know, Mike Tyson, when he was fighting in his heyday, he was knocking everybody out first, second, third round.
Yeah.
Well, you know, who wants to bet on that fight?
Yeah.
Who wants to watch that
Who wants to
fight?
watch it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay $150 for a 15-round fight when it's only 2 rounds or 3 rounds. So he had to take him a little bit longer, and pretty soon you got to lose.
Yeah.
How old were you when you caught that concept? Because I've watched a lot of your fights, and you were very entertaining. So
I was told that in 1976, 74 when I won the championship, I knocked my 2 guys out in the third round.
Wow.
75, I defended my title against Joe Corley from Atlanta, Georgia, and won in 9 rounds. And then
Now
in
he could
76
fight. He was tough, wasn't he?
Tough guy. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And in 76, I was supposed to fight this guy named Steve Shepard from West Palm Beach. Tough son of a gun, good fighter. But evidently he broke his ribs, broke a rib or something in training. So they had to put a stand in for me because it was live CBS Sports Spectacular. And I went, now, I know everybody's going to listen to you. They're not going to believe me, but it's the truth. So I'm in my dressing room warming up and everything else. This president of CBS Sports comes in. He says, Bill, I need to talk to you. Everybody out of the room. So everybody's out of the room. My trainer's out of the room. Everybody's out of the room. Their head referee, which is JT Will, myself, and the president is there, the president of CBS. He says, I need you to do me a favor. I said, sure, what is it? He says, carry this guy at least 5 rounds. I went, what? You've got to promise me you'll carry this guy 5 rounds. Does he know this? No. And I went, and he says, because if you don't promise me you're carrying 5 rounds, we're not going to show the fight. We'll just put something else on.
Oh, wow.
I went, whoa.
Wow.
Well, I guess, you know. So I make the promise. So I'm ready to go. I get out in the ring. And Gary, good fighter that he is, wasn't quite up to time. Come tearing across. I hit him with a left hook. Down he goes. Now, he's on his face. And I'm going, oh, shit. This is maybe 10 seconds.
You're like,
into the
please get up.
Did you say get up? Get up.
I'm in my corner like this, and the president's yelling at us, you son of a you you're never going to fight again. What do they say? Now, JT's in on this too, right? 1, 2. He gets to 8, and Gary shakes his head over there and gets up to his hands and knees. Bam, into round 1. Now, if you look at it and you time it back, round 1 must have been maybe a minute long. but it ended up going 9 rounds. I carried, we went.
So you remembered. You remembered.
Wow.
I knocked him down like 8 times.
And he just kept coming back.
Yeah, I'm trying not to hit him hard.
You're trying not to
When you
knock him down.
try not
hard.
to,
Yeah.
They walk. Yeah. When I was fighting, I weigh 165 pounds. Who am I going to hurt? But just maybe, I get you to walk into it. Especially the kicking techniques. I'll fake the rounds kick and throw the hook kick, and you move your head this way, so you walk right
Boom.
into the heat.
Yeah.
So and that's the way I fought. Well, with Gary, I couldn't do that because if I don't want him to knock him out, because then I get castrated or something,
You had to be careful.
But I won the fight, and like you said, I decided to become an entertainer, flashy with the kicks and all the stuff. So it goes in because if you ever watched my fights, I try not to get hit.
Well, that's the art of the game is to
that's a
hit
great
and
plan.
not get hit.
Yeah, because I'm sideways, so the shoulder, like more Floyd Mayweather.
Yep.
He protects himself with his shoulder. Well, I
That's
do
right.
the same thing. I'm sideways to you, so you can't get to the head. And I'm my ex-wrestling background, so my body's in good physical condition, so I'm not going to get hurt there.
Yeah. Bill, I got a question to ask you.
No, yes, maybe all the above.
How did you come up with the name Superfoot, or how did it get tagged to you?
Well, the first live CBS Sports Spectacular was in March 1976 in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm fighting a gentleman named Jim Ecolis. Live CBS Sports Spectacular. We go out there to fight. Now, this is in its infancy. Kickboxing is in its infancy. At that time, it was still called full contact karate.
Okay.
So I don't have a corner man. I went, oh crap. And Chuck Norris came over to wish me luck. And I said, Chuck, would you stand in my corner with me? He said, yeah, I'd love to. Then Joe Louis comes up.
Oh, wow. Joe
And I
Louis?
said, Joe, not the boxer, the karate
Okay.
guy.
Oh, the karate. Okay.
Yeah. And he's in my corner with me. Now, Mike Stone, if you've never heard of Mike Stone, he was the first national champion. He was the United States' first national champion. A tough son of a gun. Mike comes up and says, good luck to me. He says, hey, Mike, you want to stand in my corner with me?
You're recruiting.
Now, and yeah, so they walk out in the corner with me. All of a sudden, I realize, pardon my expression again, oh shit. Joe Louis is in my corner. Chuck Norris is in my corner. Mike Stone's in my corner. What if I lose? Or what if I get knocked out first, second round? I'm going, oh my God. Now I'm
You got
scared.
some pressure.
I'll go, oh crap. But lucky I caught him in the second round with a roundhouse kick to the chin and took him out. But this is where the name comes from. The president of the PKA, a guy named Don Quine, is at a Lakers basketball game the next week. He goes back to the concession stand, and there's a sign over the hot dogs that says Super Foot-Long Hot Dogs. That's where the Superfoot came from.
That's where it came from.
I'm making a joke. But I said, why couldn't I be super foot long? They said, no. I said, okay. But at first I hated it because I was super toe. I was super, super toe, all kinds of different things other than super foot.
Yeah.
But then it kind of stuck with me a little bit. I kind of like it now.
It fits.
I
Definitely
guess so.
fits,
Yeah.
especially seeing your footwork.
Yeah. But it's, you know what? I do seminars all over the world. And matter of fact, I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for a guy named William McDonald, just north of Dallas, about 10, 15 minutes. So if you guys aren't doing anything, come on up. I'll buy you a hamburger.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get some French fries with that?
You want
That's the
fries
way
with
it
that?
comes.
Yeah.
And you get a Coke with it, and we can even wash it down with an ice cream cone.
Nice. Classic.
Nah, I like the ice cream.
Oh, isn't it, nature's best.
You have worked with so many incredible people. You're a legend yourself. Are there any that you kind of stand out? Any stories?
Probably the nicest of everybody. The nicest person of everybody, and my wife will agree with me, was Chuck Norris. He's did movies, started doing movies back in 73, 74, and became very, very well known. But people don't remember, back in the point fighting days, he was national champion for a couple of years.
Wow.
Great fighter. Good, had a super good spinning back kick, good roundhouse kick, and learned how to punch because he was Tong Soo Korean. But he was a great fighter, superb fighter. And people don't remember that. But more than anything else, he's the nicest person I've ever met.
That's what I've heard.
He's not far from Dallas either.
has-
I think he has a
has
ranch up
nothing-
near there.
yeah, has nothing bad to say about anybody.
Wow.
Just a good
somebody
guy.
will say something bad about me and say, well, I know he doesn't like me, but I have nothing against him. Wow, how could you hold that back? I'd say he's a creep.
Yeah.
But Chuck is a wonderful person.
Bill, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I've met a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes, and being in my position in the boxing game, but Chuck Norris is one of the ones that I want to meet before my time because I've heard nothing but good stuff about him.
Well, he lives in Navasota.
That's what I've heard. In
Yeah,
Navasota,
It's
He's
not
got
too
a
far.
ranch. He has, what, half an hour from you guys?
yeah.
About an hour.
Yeah, the ranch is called Lone Wolf. Lone
Okay.
Wolf Ranch.
Wow.
So if you go by there, knock on the door and just say I sent you.
There you
Okay.
go.
I may do that.
Yeah, you could.
So what
He's
was it
there.
like working with Elvis Presley? Of all the people, so before we did this interview, I was so excited, and I was telling my kids, and my kids are young, so no offense, they didn't know who you were. And then I started asking, I said, what about Chuck Norris? They didn't know him either. I said,
Yeah.
what about Arnold Schwarzenegger? They didn't know any of these names. I said, what about Elvis Presley? And they knew him. So he's is a big name. What was it like working with that legend?
Well, I went to Memphis to do my graduate work in kinesiology and physiology of exercise. And I was teaching at the university, and I'm married at the time with a kid on the way. And kickboxing hadn't started yet. I was still a point fighter. I was national champion point fighter. But, you didn't make any money point fighting because it was just a tournament. And I'm going, well, heck, I got to find a way of making some money. So I went over to Kong Ree, who had the big taekwondo school in town, and I'd lost in his tournament before. One of the Michael Warren, great fighter from up in Washington, beat me in a tournament, and so I was mad. But I went to say hi to him, and he says, "Why are you in Memphis?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing my graduate work at Memphis State University." He says, "Oh, Mr. Wallace, I pay you $750 a month. You teach my people how to fight." Now, this is 1972. Listen to this. $750 clear from Connery, $150 clear from Memphis State University for my graduate work. That's $900. That's a lot of money in 1972.
You got to put in perspective. That is, nowadays that doesn't make sense, but back then,
Oh, yeah. So I go, duh, yes, I can. So I started teaching for him in 1972 in September. That next February, there's a large tournament in Dallas, Texas called the U.S. Championships. I'm sure, Termite, you probably heard of it.
Yes.
Alan Steen put it on. And I was defending national champion at the time. I win my division. Skipper Mullins wins his division. Skipper Mullins is about 6'1", 6'2", unzips his pants right about here, right at his chest. All legs. All legs. And it was between he and I who was the best kicker at the time. He won the lightweight division. He's got to weigh 180 pounds. I won the lightweight division, all of my 135, 140 pounds. But they didn't weigh you. This is what weight you got to fight. I don't care. So anyway, we fight. Chuck Norris is in one corner. Bob Wall's in one corner. Pat Burleson is one corner. And no, I can't remember his name. But Ed Daniels is the head referee. Ed Daniels is 6'8", probably 320 pounds.
big guy.
Yeah. And this is in Dallas. Skipper Mullins is from Dallas, Texas. So we bow in, and Ed says, "Bill, look around you." And I look around at the referees, and he said, "They're all Skipper's friends." Yes, they are. I mean, great friends. He says, "You know what you're going to have to do to win?" And I looked at him with this quizzical look in my eyes. He says, "You're going to have to drop him." Now, I'm from an affluent family in Lafayette, Indiana. What's a fight? To me, I could have killed you. What do you mean I got to drop him? He says, "You're going to have to knock him out. You have to knock the wind out of him." Oh, shit. Now I just rather go home.
You raised it.
But Skipper goes, yep, Bill, if you have to do it, you got to do it. I went, wow. So we bowed in. He comes tearing across. I hit him with a counter hook kick in the solar plexus. I drop him. Chuck knows me, but he doesn't know me well. He says, "No point. Hit him in the arm. Hit him in the arm." Skipper's on his ass and on his back. So he gets up. He says, "Good point, Bill." I says, "I never got the point." He says, "What?" And he opens up his gi top and big old heel print right on his solar plexus. And I went, "You know what, Skipper? I could lose the next 35 matches, and you're my friend." So that's that. And so, but we ended up, I won the match. I won the match 3-2.
Wow.
So national champ. I get back to Memphis and start teaching on Monday, right? That's what we did. All of a sudden, there's a big commotion out in the foyer in the office part. In walks Elvis Presley with Linda Thompson and his little group of the Memphis Mafia, you might say.
Yeah.
And he was at the tournament.
Oh, wow.
In the balcony, he watched me win. And he says, I just wanted to meet you. And I was, and we met. And so there, I felt on seventh heaven. And then about a year later, after I got my graduate degree, I moved back to Indiana. And he calls me up and he says, Bill, I want you to come back to Memphis and operate a school for me. I want a place where I work out, where I can train, where nobody bothers me. And I go, well, let me think. Okay. And at the same evening, Joe Lewis, the karate guy, and Mike Anderson, who started kickboxing and full contract, called him and says, we're having a kickboxing tournament, and we're going to travel to Europe. And I said, well, that sounds fun. Where are we fighting? He says, well, Bill, you don't understand. We're going to Berlin, Germany, and we're fighting to the knockout. I went, what? We're going to fight to the knockout. Again, I'm a wimp. And I said, well, you guys have a wonderful time. Enjoy yourself. Let me know what happens when you get back. No, you're going to go. Now, unlike boxing, Joe Lewis is my senior. We're the same system, same school that we went to in Okinawa. But he was there a year and a half before I was. So he's my senior. When he tells me to do something, I do it. Either that or I wreak havoc or something. So I said, I don't want to do it. You're going to do it. So I did it. Probably the best move I ever made.
Wow.
Because I don't feel something to be now anyway.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, and I'm glad you said that. Was there any special moments that were the greatest things that kind of changed your life? It sounds like that did right there.
Well, that one and calling my father always wanted me to be a school teacher. That's why I went to college, to be a school teacher.
Wow.
He was a principal in high school and a coach and all that stuff. So he wanted me to be a school teacher. And he already set up several seminars for me to go to, not seminars, but interviews to go to teach in Indiana. And now I just take this job working for Elvis Presley. So I said, what can I do to break the news to my father? So I call home. Dad, how you doing? He says, fine. You had the interview. Did they really want you? I said, well let me talk to Mom. I said, Mom, I know my father wants me to be a school teacher, and I really want to make his wishes true, but I just took a job working for Elvis Presley. Mom, you there? My dad picks up the phone and says, what'd you just tell your mother? And I says, Dad, I just told her I took a job working for Elvis Presley. Dad, you there? So that was easy. That was easy to get around. And
What was he like?
Who?
Elvis Presley.
One of the nicest people to ever meet. The problem with people like him, the guy was fantastic. He was very, very good at martial arts. He was superb.
He was really into it.
There's pictures of him doing kicking techniques that I'm jealous of. He did Kempo karate, which is Ed Parker was his teacher in Pasadena. He's dead now, but he taught him in Pasadena, California. Basically the system is called Kempo. It's a self-defense aspect of it, but he was very, very good at it. He beat up Red West, Sonny Rest, all those guys, but had a great workout, had a superb workout, and he'd come there. I'd have classes. He'd just call up and says, I'm going to come to school. So we'd kick everybody out. We'd come up and work out.
Wow.
Have a great time. And it was fantastic. The trouble is with people like even Termite, in his heyday, is he our friend or is he just hanging out because of who we are?
Yeah. I can imagine, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
After, understand he's been the cat's ass since 1956. When he did, Love Me Tender, the movie.
Yeah.
So who are his friends and who aren't his friends? So Red West, Jerry Schilling, Joe Esposito, Sonny West, and Charlie Hodge were the Memphis Mafia.
Yeah.
That hung around him all the time. They were his protectors. Well, pretty soon you get paranoid.
Yeah.
So pretty soon they'll be talking outside, and he'll get up and says, "What are you guys talking about? Are you talking about me?" They said, "No, we're just about." He get very upset. So finally, he just fired him. Then they did a book called Elvis, What Happened. If you look that up. But I was still true blue to him. I would never say anything bad for the world. Matter of fact, his birthday was in January, and I was back in Memphis celebrating his 90th birthday. He would have been 90 this year.
Wow. I almost got to meet Elvis in Orlando, Florida. He was performing at a place where we trained, and Pete Ashlock owned it. It was a little sports arena, and but the people went so wild and so crazy that they had to get him out so quick. They ended up having to have a helicopter come drop down and get him and take him out.
Oh, sure.
And,
I mean, fans are nuts. Fans are silly. They just want to touch him. I mean, remember the thing he would do before a win? He would have women come up and he'd kiss them and all that stuff. He'd tell me sometimes the guys and girls would come up and try to bite him.
Oh, bite him.
And this is before AIDS. But yeah. Girl, hey, I got his blood on my lips.
Oh my goodness.
The crazy people.
Wow, I could imagine if you have that sort of fame, you do have to, I guess, look at people differently.
It's like the Beatles when I think it was Paul McCartney said that they were more popular than Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, Elvis was more popular. They're gone.
Yeah.
Elvis is gone, but his name is still out there. I came back from Germany a couple of years ago. I had a special meeting over in Germany, celebrating his legacy over there because he was stationed in Germany, right? So and they still go nuts. He's just as popular now than he was when he was alive.
Yeah, that's why I made the joke at the beginning. My kids didn't know these other names that are huge to me, like you, but they knew Elvis.
People don't know the Beatles.
Yeah, they don't know the Beatles. My kids don't know the Beatles, but they know Elvis.
Is it a bug? Yeah.
They don't like Beatles.
No.
Bill, you've had a lot of fame. Incredible. I've had a little bit. You've had incredible amount.
Oh.
And I know that mine come with several different places that there was a cost. Was there ever your fame that it ever took it, or there was a price you paid for it, or there was a cost in it?
No. I mean, for me, it was fun.
Yeah.
Fighting was fun. I never needed the money. I competed because it was fun. I think it comes from my wrestling background and my judo background in the service.
Right.
So it was just the competition aspect of it and staying in shape.
Right.
You walk around, you see people that, I used to be champion. Then he turns sideways and hasn't seen his toes in probably 50 years.
I would love to jump into that because I love fitness. I enjoy nutrition. And to see someone like you you're my hero. And I'm not just saying that, but to see somebody, you're fixing to turn 80 and you're.
Hold it. You mean I'm not your hero?
You're my hero too, both of y'all.
Man,
Look
what you do, Bill. Look what you do.
Termite's a younger hero.
Both of y'all are very active, and I want to be like y'all when I get, moving forward. How do you do it? There's other men your age that are just, in rocking chairs or not even alive, and you're still active.
Like I said earlier, my father was a school teacher, but he was a coach. A professional golfer, it was all-state football, all-state basketball. At 5'7", he was an all-state basketball player.
Wow.
Man, that's something.
Yeah, because he
He had to compensate. He had to be good.
Yeah, shoot shot like or nothing. But I think I got my athletic background from him, but I got my metabolism from my mother. My mother weighed 103 pounds when she had me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's natural? You don't focus on nutrition or stretching? Or you just kind of naturally just blessed?
I am a junk food freak.
I am too.
Termite will tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I mean let's go get a hamburger, I'm serious. My retirement fight in 1980, June 15th, 2 hours before I'm supposed to fight, I walk across the street to Wendy's, have a plain triple, a large order of French fries, a Frosty, and I wash it all down with a Coke. I tell myself, you know what? If he hits me hard, I'll just throw up all over him.
So you retired in 1980, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's when I fought.
45 years ago.
I fought for the world championship in 1980.
Oh, wow.
It was when Ali fought Holmes. I
Yep.
fought Sao Mombi, and
Okay.
80 was a good year. And
Yes, I'm for it 100%. That's when I started working for John Belushi, too.
wow, how was
He did
he?
that. He's dead now. I met
How?
John. I met John. I go to a party in Los Angeles, Christmas or New Year's Eve, 1979, 1980. And a friend takes the party. We go to this party. We walk up to the party, and there's beautiful 275 GTB Ferrari parked out in front. And I'm a car guy. And I went, wow, that's really neat. The guy says, you like that? I said, love it. He throws me the keys. He said, take it for a spin. I said, no, thank you, because it's about a $4.5 million car. I hand the keys back to him, and we walk in. And my friend says, do you know who that was? I said, no. He says, that was Mick Fleetwood. And I went, oh, shit. Because, it's not my era for music. I'm a 60s and 70s guy. So I went, wow. So we go inside, and John Belushi's over in the front playing the drums. And he looks at me and goes, waves to me. And I said, he goes, so I back and so he's through with his set, and he comes out and says, you're that Superfoot guy, right? I said, yeah. So we talked for about 10 or 15 minutes, and he says, what are you doing this summer? I said, no plans. He said, I have to defend my title for the last time, and then I have no plans at all. When do you fight? I said, June 15th. He said, what are you doing right after that? I said, I don't know. Why? He says, well, the Blues Brothers are going to go on tour. I said, now understand, I live in Memphis, Tennessee. I said, who are the Blues Brothers? Well, it hadn't been promoted yet.
Right.
And he says, that's our band. We just did a movie called The Blues Brothers, and we're going to go on tour. And I said, oh, that sounds great. He says, give me your number, and I'll call you. And I said, yeah, here it is. Yeah, you know how that sounds, right?
Sure.
So in March, he calls me up and says, you still going to go on tour with us? And I said, sure. If I win, I'd love to go on tour with you. If I don't win, I'm going to be very pissed off. He said, no problem. I have confidence in you. So I won. He called me the night that I won. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow. The ticket waiting for you at Indianapolis Airport to come up to Chicago.
Wow.
And that's where I spent the next 2 years.
Wow.
And you mentioned, he's no longer with us.
Excuse me?
You mentioned he's no longer with us. Aren't you the one that found him?
Yeah. Again, people, you can have absolutely everything in the world that you want. You can have everything that you want, but you can't have what you want the most, which is, hold on just a minute. You can't have, something you want in life and you can't have it. You can be this close to it, but you can't have it. Well, and he started doing drugs when he's doing Saturday Night Live. And you know who Don Novello is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Don Novello's father, Sarducci. They were working on a script called Noble Rot.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a comedy with a little bit of seriousness. Well, how do you write the script at night, go to meetings all day long, and then work out with me in between times? Pretty soon, you have to take something to stay awake to write the script.
Yeah.
So Don Novello started him into cocaine again. But what happened is, there's a girl, she was arrested, she was convicted, named Kathy Smith. I don't know if you read back on it, but she's the one, he was his supplier. And he comes up to her and says, I want some more cocaine. She says, I don't have any cocaine, but I got something better. Speedball.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You know what a speedball is?
Yeah.
Cocaine and heroin mixed together and
Yeah.
injected. Now, John Belushi, I did 3 movies with him. Continental Divide, Neighbors, and working on a 3rd one. John hated needles. You know what a B12 shot is?
Yeah.
The needle's probably an inch long and maximum.
Right.
Yeah.
He would not take a B12 shot. He said, "You're not sticking that needle in me." Even though I had a little bit of a cold, he wouldn't let you stick it. But when I found him, he had 3 hypodermic needle marks in his right arm, I believe it was.
Wow.
And somebody else stuck him. He didn't stick himself.
Yeah. That's
But
amazing.
that's 45 years ago, 40 years ago.
So what do you say to folks? Obviously, you've outlived some of these folks. What do you say to people that might feel like that's the answer?
Okay, you ever been injured?
Of course.
Okay, did anybody ever give you a morphine shot?
I have. As a matter of fact, I remember
What
that in the
happens
hospital.
right after the morphine shot? What happens right after the morphine shot?
Great. Life
Yeah.
is great.
Nothing hurts. Nothing hurts.
No.
He says, it only lasts a half hour, 45 minutes, right?
Right.
So let's say I can have you feel that good for a couple hours.
It's tough to resist.
Yeah, it is. Luckily, we did. But there's a whole lot of people out in Hollywood that don't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some large name guys that were doing coke with John the night before. And I'm not going to give their names, but
Right.
well respected,
Yeah.
comedians and film stars. So, yeah, I told John, I said, "John, if you want to work with me and you want me to work with you, if you go to the bathroom, I'm going to go in there with you."
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because it's too easy to have somebody talk you into it. When the first night I get in Chicago for practicing the Blues Brothers, a guy walks up and says, "Here, give John this." He gives her a little vial of cocaine.
Man.
Wow.
What the shit is this?
Yeah.
So I grabbed John. I said, "Come here, John. I want to show you something." So we go in the bathroom. I show him the vial. I undo the vial, pour it down the toilet. He looks at me like, well, that might have, and Smokey Wendell, who just died, by the way, who was his chief of security. John was terrible at hiding stuff. The good thing is we could find it real easy. He couldn't hide it very well. But yeah, once you start doing something, it's hard to say, "No, I don't want to do that anymore."
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Mr. S, if there's anybody out in our audience that wants to ask any questions, probably be a good time. Our time's running short.
Yeah, we are.
And Bill, we like to keep our audience involved in this, and sometimes
Sure.
they just get so engulfed that they don't send questions, but sometimes they do. Do we have any over there?
Yes, we have from Malcolm Faber. He says that Bill's a true fighter. Back in the day, he was more than just a gym
Back
fighter.
in the day, I'll kill it dead.
He said, "Love watching you fight."
Awesome.
Thank him very, very much for me. It was fun. Most of us, even Termite, when we did competition, the training was hell, but the benefits were great because you had to have that endurance, you had to have that speed, that movement, and it was a blast. I look back on it, I still do it, and I love it so much that it's part of my life.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I had a great time. Thank you, sir, for watching.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Why did you do it? What kept you going and fighting and basically putting yourself through what you had to put through to
When I was
keep
a
going?
point fighter, I said to myself, and from other people, because it's basically arbitrary. It's just like a gymnastics match, just like a ballet or whatever it is. You might be able to do it absolutely perfect, but this one guy that's watching you, that's judging you, doesn't like it. So he says, "You lose." So a point tournament, I didn't mind losing. I didn't want to, but I didn't mind losing.
It didn't stop you.
Huh?
It didn't
Yeah.
stop you.
It didn't stop me. And the kickboxing aspect of it. I'm going out there and I said, "Now, you know what? The only way you can beat me is to knock me out." And from my wrestling background, I got a good neck. I made it by some tough guys. And so, and I took some shots. Not hard ones, but I took some shots because I could get out of the way. And I told myself, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to kill me.
Man.
And that's the only way that you're going to win. Because I'm not stopping, because it's my turn.
Yeah. Incredible.
And it's fun when it's my turn.
And I would say that that's why who you are today. Just that push. Because so many people, if they're doing it for money, they're not going to last long. If they're doing it for ego or whatever it is, those are the ones that have dropped out. And you're just, it's in you. And you just keep on going.
1980 when I retired. 1980 when I retired. I was 23-0 when I retired. And some people say, well, you got a couple more fights in you. And I said, yeah, but I'm on top right now.
That's right.
I decided to retire a couple years before that. I'm fighting this kid. I'm 28 at the time. This kid was 19 years old. I hit him in the first round with a really good kick, stun him. Beep, into round 1. So he goes back to my corner. I want to look at him. I'm watching him. Next round, you're gone. And this is exactly what it is. So I just go, and I went,
He did the same thing you do.
yeah, heels between the rounds. So I said, and it went 9 rounds. And I went, you know what? I'm going to fight some more times. And once I start, because once you get lackluster, you don't train as hard. You don't throw as much into it. And pretty soon, and the other guy's training that much harder.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be the guy that knocked Bill Wallace off his pedestal. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go out on top. I'm going to go out 12 rounds. I'm going to go out nuts. And the guy that I fought, his name was Robert Biggs, a boxer, but a very good kicker. I hit him in the 3rd or 4th round with a good left hook. And he does this. I go, we're not going to change my mind. You know, it's funny thing is, I was a kicker and I was a good kicker and I was a puncher. I became a pretty good puncher. I found out, and every boxer will, every striker will, and ground person. All we can do is throw the technique. We're never guaranteed that it's going to work. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do seminars and I'll throw a kick at a guy, and I said, "What did this do?" He says, "How to knock him out." He says, "Maybe not, but it scores. If it scores and you don't hit me back, I win the round." So that's what I'm happy about. I've hit guys with Joe Louis was the heavyweight world champion, kickboxing, that one. We did an exhibition match in 1990. I hit him with a hook kick, one of my favorite kicks, right here. I said, "Oh my God, I've killed Joe Louis, the world heavyweight champion." Son of a gun backed up and goes, "Ow." And I said, "You know what? I learned really good." So, you know, all I do is I throw the shots. Not my fault you walk into it.
Yeah.
Quick learner.
And don't ever think that you're going to knock him out. Look at Tyson.
Yeah.
In his heyday, it wasn't just the left hook. It was the uppercut left hook.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that took him 2. Ali took several.
Yeah.
Frazier, it took him more than 1.
Yep. That's right.
So how can you say, "Well, I'm going to knock you out with 1 shot"?
Can't know.
You know, one of the, Bill, you'll get a kick out of this. One of the fights, I went out and I was so prepared for this guy, and I walked out and I hit him with 2 of my best shots, boom, boom, and he smiled at me, and I knew I was in for a fight that night, and I won, but it was a fight. It was a fight.
Yeah. When I hit this guy and he does this, lures back, and I say, "You know what? This is going to go the distance.
It's going to be a long day.
You're not going to get close enough to hit me, and I'm just going to tippy you."
Yeah.
So you've seen the sport change a lot. You know, you were in the beginning, you said even wrestling. Where do you see the sport going, or just martial arts in general? When we first started kickboxing, throws were allowed, takedowns were allowed, no chokes or arm bars, but you could throw them, you could take them down, and punch and kick them, leg kicks too. Then all of a sudden we tried to make it a little bit better for the people, for the television. You know, we found out in the early days, 74, 75, 76, that a lot of people
watching television didn't want to watch people kick each other in the leg. Because number one, the purpose of the leg kicks is number one, and I'll get in a whole lot of trouble for this, is to damage that leg so much that I can't stand up.
Yeah.
What kind of a fight is that? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to break your legs, and they say, and you can kick any part of the leg. MMA now, you can throw a side kick, which is a kick from the side to the knee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever play football? Football takes about 16 to 18 pounds of pressure to take your knee out.
Yeah, you
Now
get
that's your
cooked.
career. That's your career. And you're going to do it for somebody who's going to get to $25,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Bill, in 70, I'm thinking it was 78, something like that. I don't know if you even know this, but remember Young Lee?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I fought him. It's on ABC Wide World of Sports, and it was boxing
Versus
versus
Taekwondo.
right.
Yep.
And we had they couldn't elbow us, we couldn't elbow them, they couldn't thumb us, they couldn't headbutt us, but they could do that sweep on your legs.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's a tough one to get away from.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. And the other one that was hard to get away from, I won, and I was really honored that I did because, wow. But the other one was the spinning, what is it called? The hook
Spinning
kick?
back kick. Spinning
Swi-
back kick. Spinning hook
right.
kick. Yeah.
Man, that was real hard. I mean,
yeah.
they'd be right in your face, Mr. S, and just, and it was like, boom. You
The
just,
whirlwind.
yeah.
Especially with the heel.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You guys might not know about this, but I did 2 exhibition matches. I did an exhibition match in 1986 with Tommy Hearns.
Really?
Yeah, we had a nicest person you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, he
Nicest
is.
person.
Tommy
we,
is.
We did a 3-round exhibition in Miami, Florida.
Wow.
I had a blast. Then I fought a couple of years before that. I did an exhibition with Virgil Hill.
Both of them are friends of mine, and both of them were great fighters.
Yes, they were. The best 3 rounds in boxing was Tommy Hearns and Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yes, it
Still
was.
to this day, and that was in '84.
Yeah. Tommy Hearns to be so tall and thin, could rip your head off when he hit you. And Virgil Hill was just so slick.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just, I talked to Virgil probably it's been a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, something like that. I talked to him. He's doing good, and I haven't talked to Tommy in a long time. But
Tommy's kind of hard to talk to now.
yeah, I've heard that.
But there's a picture on Official Karate Magazine. I'm doing the exhibition match with Virgil,
Yeah.
and my leg's straight up in the air, and he's blocking it, but the leg is straight up in the air, and it was great for boxing because he's in his boxing shorts. I'm in my uniform.
Yeah.
So look, I have great remembrances from those times.
Yeah. Wasn't he just a super nice guy
Yep.
and
Yeah.
could fight?
Oh, yes, they could.
He's getting up in the years.
Tommy, when I did the exhibition match with Tommy, he just came back from winning the light heavyweight world championship over in England.
Wow.
I bought the guy in England. So, and then he was coming back and fight some guy from Argentina.
Right.
He's defending his title against a guy from Argentina. He invited me to the fight. And
Wow.
it was kind of funny. I don't know, it sounds like I'm bragging, but I don't mean it to move. But anyway, so I went to the fight. He knocked the guy out at the 4th or 5th round with a good old shot, right hand. So he says, come on up to the room. So we go up to the room where they're at in the Hilton, and his dad's there, and he says, are you that guy that beat the shit out of my son? And I went, what? He said, he came back and told me you beat the shit out of him. I says, well, Dad, there's two thoughts on that. He hit me just as much as I hit him, but I did hit him with a good hook kick. So, but wonderful person, wonderful person. Bounced a couple of jabs off my nose.
Speaking of all these greats, you hear that Hulk Hogan passed away today earlier.
I did it. Great guy. I was in Denver, Colorado, and I did an exhibition with him. with Hulk and the wrestling aspect of it. And what is he, 6'8", 6'7",
He's a big
6'8",
guy.
something.
Yeah, something like that.
And, yeah, I'm about this wide at the shoulders.
Yeah.
And we did it. And I kicked him a couple times, and just to show some of the kickboxing, and kicking him a couple times in the head and so forth. And we're sitting there talking. He had about 4 steaks. He starts doing this. He starts rubbing his elbow, and I says, "What's wrong?" And he says, "Well, I was in my wrestling match. I was going for this elbow strike, and I missed him, and I hit the turnbuckle."
Ooh.
And
Wow.
I was about this big around, right?
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, didn't look any different to me. It's still, yeah, it's a little sore. It'll be okay." So
Yeah.
things that we remember, things
The
that we remember.
athleticism, though, of all of those things that they do.
Yeah. Well, this has been incredible.
This is amazing. And now I would, as you've kind of looking back, you're still active. What are some of the projects that you're working on now? You're still very
I do
busy guy.
seminars every weekend. I teach. I teach flexibility. Like I said, my master's degree is kinesiology and physiology of exercise. So I do seminars explaining the flexibility aspect of movement, the speed, the power, the movement, working different techniques. I'm in Dallas this weekend. Next week I'm in Buda, just outside Austin.
Nice.
And then I go to Cleveland, Ohio, and then I've been. There's no place I've not been.
Where can people see some of this? I've been getting really interested in the stretching and the kinesiologist, all that stuff. Where would be a good resource? You got something on your website?
If they're interested in working out with me, I do a Zoom class every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And just check out Bill at superfootsystem.com.
Bill?
Or just superfootsystem.com.
Superfootsystems.com. That's how people can check you out.
That'll get hold of Jim Ginter, and he'll help you out.
Very nice.
Bill, when you're coming to Houston this year, aren't you?
I'm sure I am, yeah.
Be sure and holler at me. Me
will.
and Mr. S like to get with you. May even do a live show and
Maybe so. See how it goes.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I knew this was going to be an incredible evening or night, and it has been, Bill. And Bill, it's just, in closing, is there anything you'd like to tell people? What is your website you can get people to, if they wanted to
Bill
look
at
at it?
superfootsystem.com.
Yeah, Superfoot Systems.
Okay, superfootsystems.com.
And before we do go, I did want to say that this episode has been sponsored by Coastal Ice.
Yep.
So we appreciate them doing that. If anybody has some ice or water needs, or whatever their business is, go ahead and give them a call. Look them up.
Yeah.
We'd like to have a whole bunch of ice in Florida if it's okay.
There you go. We'll try to send you some.
Hey, I'm going to tell my buddy Scott, the owner over there, I'm going to tell him to send you some up in Florida. And you know what he'll do? He'll probably do it. And that's just him. And we do want to give a big shout out to him. He's always so good. Scott, he at Coastal Ice and Water, he keeps my gym full of water for the kids. Bill, I'll have on an average day 40, 50, 60, 70 kids. On a great day, 95 kids. And Scott has always kept ice there for my kids. I mean, not ice, but the water for my kids.
And it's hot in
Just
that gym.
incredible. Yeah.
Hey, it's 97 degrees here.
Yeah.
Well, as we're wrapping this up, you've had an impressive career, impressive life. You're obviously not done. What do you want your legacy to be when things are all done?
I would love to go through history knowing that I was an okay guy.
An okay guy. We've already achieved that.
Well, I like to go down in history as being a good fighter.
Yeah.
Because, people have gotten so much better when we started. They're using more techniques, more speed, more power, more technique. And just to know that I'm still out there working it makes me feel great. That I'm still kind of wanted a little bit.
You're inspiring.
Well, you're inspiring and you're amazing.
Thank you.
And
I have fun.
Yep, we got to wrap it up. So I really appreciate this. Has been an honor. I appreciate it, Bill, Superfoot, and I look forward to perhaps meeting you when you do come in Houston.
I would love to get a hold of Termite. We shall do it, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Bill, it's always good to talk to you, and Thank you so much for being on our show. Now, Bill, one of the things that we do
When we wrap up.
yeah, when we wrap up, I'm gonna let you lead it off, Mr.
So
S.
our show really is about overcoming and different stories. So you've shared a lot about that.
Hold it. I got to stop you.
Okay, go ahead.
Bill, I got to talk another minute.
Okay.
What is something that you've really had to overcome? You know, we've had people that's gotten run over and overcome it, had accidents, overcome it, drugs, overcome it, lost everything they owned and overcome it. Have you had something in your career that you've had to overcome?
When I was playing judo in Okinawa, I tore my right knee up.
Oh, wow.
Tore the medial collateral ligament. So basically, my judo career was over. Well, I'm there, bored up, mad, upset because I can't do anything because this is 1965. This is before arthroscopic surgeries. So I'm walking around in a cast from my ankle all the way up to my crotch. And the guy says, hey, there's a karate school downtown. Let's go check it out. So I go down to the karate school with my friend. The guy says, hey, you do karate. I said, what? He said, you want to do karate? Speak English. Well, there's no doubt. Back then, he said, yeah, I like to do karate. He said, stand up. I said, I can't. I'm on my cast. He says, no problem. You stand up. So that's how I started doing side kicks. He taught me how to do a side kick. I'm in a cast, so I do about 45,000 side kicks.
Wow.
I go back the next week. I do about 45,000 roundhouse kicks. Then I start sparring a little bit, and I start the hook kick, doing the hook kick, which is a sloppy side kick. But the most important thing is, when I was in high school, I was a wimp. I was a total wimp. I really, really was. I mean, I couldn't get up in front of the class and do a speech. Now I talk in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and it doesn't bother me. So I think what martial arts has done for me, it made me not really come out of my shell, but hey, what have I got to lose?
Power
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's great.
Amazing.
I think that's a great note to end on.
He took what he got, the cards that were dealt with him, turn it around, and become a world champion. He could have quit. And, you know, this is for the people out in the audience. Don't quit, because, you know, quitters never, ever win. And winning may be right around the corner. The worst thing could happen is that you lose. And in most cases, losing can actually make you better. You know,
you learn a lot by losing.
That's right. That's right.
But the most important thing about that is, if you quit for some silly reason, if you decide to come back in a year, let's say you decide to come back in 3 months or 4 months, it's really hard to come back.
Yeah.
Because your muscles atrophy, you don't have the same skill set that you had, the same mental aspect. It's just and if you've quit once, understand you'll quit again.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Keep the momentum going.
So the moral of that story is don't quit.
Don't quit.
Quitters never win.
Push through.
Because right now I know where you all live.
I'm not going to quit.
It's been good.
It has been. Well, I appreciate it. And we do like to say, because of all the things that life throws at you, life is its own ring in itself, and things are going to come at you. So keep your guard up. And we like to close every show with that.
And Bill, we like to keep our guard, keep it up. I don't know if you can see us right now, but look here, we're keeping our guard up.
That's silly. This way, sideways. So you got to be this way.
There you go. He's going to show us
That's
how to do
it.
it.
That's
But now
it.
you got to go around the
Hit the
shoulder.
shoulder.
You gotta
That's
go
it.
over. You can't go through it.
That's it.
It's been a
That's it.
pleasure. Thank you.
That's
been
why
a
my nose
pleasure.
is straight.
We'll see you, Bill. We'll call you later.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank
I had
you.
a blast.
Bye-bye.
Take care.